What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Paddock, and today we are going to talk about how to get a big, fat saxophone tone. Your tone is primarily made up of three different variables: your gear, your air, and your embouchure. Today we're going to mostly focus on your air and your embouchure. So let's get started. The first thing you ever hear any teacher talk about when it comes to tone is long tones. The reason for that is because the whole idea behind a long tone is to get your airstream flowing really steady and really stable so that you have no disruptions. Your long tone should sound like this. Just a flat, steady tone with no disruption. But oftentimes, when I have my students play long tones in the beginning, they sound more like this. And the reason they sound like that is because the airflow is not steady and consistent. To get a really fat, big, in-your-face saxophone tone, the very first thing you need is really steady, consistent airflow with no disruptions. Once you've got your airflow moving really controlled, the next thing you want to do is add some dynamics to your long tones. Start off at your normal volume and then get as soft as you can. Believe it or not, working on your soft end will help your loud end a lot, because it's all about controlling your air. Once you've got your airstream completely controlled and you've got a really flat tone, not flat as in pitch, but flat as in no warbles, no disruptions, the next step in getting a really big, fat, in-your-face saxophone sound is moving the air really fast. The faster your air moves, the more your reed will vibrate. The more your reed will vibrate, the bigger your sound will be. It's pretty much that simple. A great way to think about fast-moving air is thinking about a garden hose. If you have a garden hose and you're just holding it and there's no spigot on the end, the water just falls out, directly out onto the ground. If you take your thumb and you put it over just a portion of the end of the hose, the water will spray out. The reason the water will spray out is because you have the same amount of water trying to get out of that hose, but the only way you can get out is to move faster. As you cover the hole more and more, the water will spray out further and further. So if you think about that with your air, if you're taking all of the air you have and instead of letting it be in an airstream this size and you put in an airstream this size, it's going to move way, way faster. It's going to make your reed vibrate more. And again, that's going to give you a big, fat saxophone sound. So how do you get a faster moving airstream? It's actually pretty easy. You just kind of think about it. If you were going to hold your hand out in a circle like this and blow all the air in the middle of the circle, you would go. As you make the circle smaller, you would just think about focusing your air more until you get to a really tiny circle. And then your air will be moving faster because you'll be centering the air more towards the center of the circle. So give that a try. Take your hand, do a big circle, blow in it, and keep making the circle smaller until you're right here, blowing the air right in the center of a very small circle. It's the same idea with your mouthpiece. We want to focus the air moving really quickly in the dead center of the mouthpiece. We don't want to blow as if we're just like blowing just towards the front of the mouthpiece. We want to pretend like there's a tiny little like coffee straw that's in the center of your mouthpiece, and you're trying to get all of the air that you can in the very small coffee straw that's in the center of your mouthpiece. Now, obviously, you don't want to put a coffee straw in your mouthpiece. I'm just using that as an example. Those little straws, if you had that like in the center and you had to get all your air there and you would aim dead center. And the more you do that, the bigger your sound will be. Once you get that air moving really steady and really fast, your tone goes from this to this immediately. Okay, now that we've got really steady air moving really fast in the dead center of your mouthpiece, let's talk about our embouchure. So we know exactly the way our mouth is supposed to be set up around the mouthpiece. For starters, I always have my students close one eye and then look at the side of their mouthpiece. When you do that, you can see exactly where the reed hits the mouthpiece. For my mouthpiece, it's right here. So that is where you want your bottom lip. Right there, and then obviously your top teeth just go right on top. When you do that, you have just the perfect amount of reed vibrating, and again, the tone, the size of your tone is all about how fast and how much your reed is vibrating. Okay, so now that we know how much mouthpiece we should take in, let's talk about some more specific aspects about our embouchure. Your corners should definitely be pushing in. You don't want them out, you want them pushing in. And your lower lip should be rolled out a little bit. When you're first learning the saxophone, every teacher tells you to put your lower lip over top of your teeth. And that's exactly what you should be doing. But once you get to the point where you're trying to get a bigger tone and you're getting more advanced on the saxophone, we need to do it a little bit more with your bottom lip to maximize the projection and the vibration of the reed. What we want to do is roll that bottom lip out a little bit, as opposed to your lip just being over your teeth. We want this lip rolled out. What that does is it puts more of the muscle in your lip on the reed, and it gives you way more control. It lets the reed vibrate more, and it just gives you a way, way, way bigger and better sound. That can be a little strange in the beginning, especially if you've just had your lip over your teeth ever since you started playing the saxophone. Once you start rolling your lip out in the beginning, you're going to get some squawks and squeaks, and it's going to feel really uncomfortable. But after a week or two of practicing it, especially a month of practicing it, it's going to feel natural, and your tone is going to explode. It's going to be so much bigger. So that's pretty much it. There's no real big secret on how to get a great big fat saxophone sound. It's basically steady air moving really fast directly in the center of your mouthpiece. When you do that, the reed vibrates faster. The faster the reed vibrates, the bigger your sound is. If you find this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions on what else I should do a tutorial on, hit me with a comment below.